Hey folks, it's Woody here over at USA Made Blade, and just coming to you from the shop tonight. We're going to do a quick breakdown video and reassembly video on the new Hinderer Eklipse 3-inch liner lock. So anyway, let's jump right into it. I love our knife mat, but it doesn't make the best background for these videos, so we're going to move that out of the way so we just have a plain black background for you. So first off, I apologize, but we are completely sold out of Hinderer tools, and so much so that we had a customer in store that bought mine from me, so I don't even have mine to use. So this is a little custom tool that a guy a while back made me off of a forum, and from a forum that I know, and made it for me. And I don't know what happened to him, but we need to be in touch with him again. So the toughest part about the entire breakdown process, honestly, is breaking that Loctite on the pivot. And takes just a little bit of force if you're using a Hinderer tool, or if you make your own tool. You just got to get past that first, about 1.5 turns, something like that. Forgive me, I'm working from behind the camera here, so it's a little tough to see. And once you break that couple turns, then everything else seems to pivot. Getting that pivot screw out becomes a whole lot easier. And honestly, once I'm to where I am right now, there's no reason not to just go ahead and use my fingers. So, like I said, getting the pivot screw out's the toughest part, but it's definitely not that difficult, especially if you have the Hinderer tool. It's not too hard. And then from there, I like to work the screws off on the same side that pivot screw came out on. And some of these, they're so well machined that some of these, as you're trying to take them apart with your and I highly recommend Weehaw tools if you're going to be taking apart knives. But some of these, the screws will actually stick, so you got to put them back in there and pull to get the bit out. But once you do that a time or two, or one time, that seems to stop. So anyway, get that side done. I'm jumping ahead here. It's very difficult working at the angle I'm working at. And as you can see, once I start to open the knife, everything kind of falls apart. So we had, this would normally be sitting in here, on the bearing would normally be sitting in the track, so we can get that out. I like to keep everything just nice and organized. So move everything over here together and get the pivot up there, another pivot over here, and I moved everything out of frame. Sorry, looking around the camera. So now we're just working on the lock side, and I like to go ahead and just, you can go either way. You can take the pocket clip off first, or go ahead and get the rest of the screws off. I like to go ahead and just get the rest of the screws off and set the standoffs to the side. And there we go. Now, on the pocket clip, it is actually a T5. So we do have to switch up our torques here. And T5 fits and works perfect on these, and comes apart quite easily. And let me get let's see, is all this in there together? Looks like it is. See if we can show that without the glare. So as you can see, very simplistic taking it apart. It's even easier taking it or putting it back together. So let me, we're gonna cut over here just shortly while I go anodize this, and then we'll come back, put it back together. All right, folks, so we're back with you, and let's go through the reassembly process. We got everything anodized. This is our dark bronze that we've been doing on this black G10. I think you're going to be able to see this better as we get into it. So I'm pretty backwards here, and like I said, trying to work kind of behind the scenes is a little tough, but let's see how we can do this here. So I like to start with the lock side, get the lock scale on it, and start with one of the standoffs. Set that in there, and get one of my standoff screws, and go ahead and put that in. Now for me, nope, sorry, wrong bit. I like to get it in there, but not tighten it all the way. Just get it in there to where it's holding it and it's secure, but it's definitely not the tightness that you want. Then set my other standoff in here and grab my other screw. And same thing once again. Get it in there, but no pressure. I mean, as soon as you feel that last thread hit, stop. So then we've got our lock side ready to go. Start with our pivot nut. Set that in, and then washers, bearings go in, and then I like to go ahead and put in my stop pin. Then, of course, most important part is the knife, and get my other bearing on here. Hopefully we're not going too fast here, and everything's pretty much set. And then honestly, I've probably disassembled 15, 16 of these for anodizing so far, maybe more. And every single one, so hopefully this will be the same, just snaps right on. I mean, it is, guys, this is super simple. I've seen, I've taken apart a ton of knives, and this one is as simple as they get. It really is, and especially for a liner lock. So then once again, on this side, I like to go ahead and just go ahead and get that handle screw in on the presentation side, but once again, not tight, just to where you feel even the slightest little bit of pressure back on these threads, and stop. So basically getting it down to where the G10 is milled out. And the reason for that is just to make sure that your pivot screw sits in on this G10. Okay. Oh, about screwed up. So let's talk about Loctite for just a second. Guys, we've had people send us knives for anodizing or to check out if there's a problem or anything. You do not need to load up your damn pivot screw with 8 tons of Loctite. Actually, at the ranch, they keep it all in a little Coke bottle top or something like that, and they just kind of dip the top into it. I like to just wipe just a little bit of those top couple threads on it. I mean, guys, you don't need much. Quit soaking these things in blue Loctite, because it makes it hell for the person that's got to work on it. So just enough to keep those threads secure, but without overkill. So from here, go ahead and get your pivot back in. And these, every single one I've done so far, now watch this will not be the case, but these have all gone back perfectly. Now you'll notice I've got the knife completely open. I'm just waiting, just like I did on those handle screws, until I get just a little pressure, just keeping, not even a little pressure, just to where it barely stops. And then I like to hit it at that 90-degree angle. Give it just a little bit more tightness to where everything gets snug. And then close her up. Looking center from here, but let's tighten everything up and just double check it. So from here, I like to go ahead and tighten the handle screws and get those good and snug. You don't have to kill these. Just get them tight. You start trying to put a bunch of torque on it, you're just going to end up with a ruined bit or stripped bit. So I got to pull it away so I can look at it in the light for just a second. We're still sitting just a tad bit to the right. And this is where those little micro hair turns can pay off. Sorry, I got to pull it away again. And look at that. That's sitting dead centered. And here's the amazing part. I'll guarantee you. Look at that. Early lock up. Snappy as all get out. So don't worry. Before we finish, I'll stop. Make sure it sits for the night. And then from here, pocket clip goes on. Nope. About dropped it. And pocket clips easy. Everybody can work that. Get everything back together. So obviously with that Loctite on there, I don't want to flip it a ton, but I'll double check it and recheck all the screws when we're done with this video. And but that's it. Back together, easy as can be. Probably one of the easier knives I've ever worked on. There's maybe a handful of others that are easier, but this is one that we just finished up. This is the dark bronze anodization on the black G10. Once again, we've done others, so I got to do a shameless plug while we're at it and show off. This is one we did with the green anodization. Those will be very rare. I don't like anodizing green very often. This is the bronze, OD green with bronze, dark bronze anodization, and this one's my favorite. This is what I just did to mine as well. I don't know why I'm not showing mine off. And then, of course, the black G10 with blue anodized. And I gotta tell you, these anodized just look sexy as hell. So appreciate everybody watching. I do hope that this helped you out. I hope you'll check out the Eklipse 3-inch liner lock over at USA Made Blade. They're snappy. They're absolutely fun as hell to flip. They've all got fantastic lockup, big thick liners. Check out our overview we did on them with comparison pics on our other YouTube video. And folks, as always, we appreciate you watching. We hope you'll head over to USA Made Blade and pick one of these up. Have a good night.